What's up, Sagittarius? I don't know why I want to call you like Sag. I don't know if we're that cool yet, but we'll see. All right. So this is a message from essentially the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck, right? And this is the description and the general what's actually written down by, or what I assume is by Adriana Yales, but we'll go into the description after, or go into the actual reading after. True wealth. This is what you got is Tulsi with the subtext of wealth, and this is true wealth, prosperity, charismatic, vivacious, luxury, beauty, auspicious, and Tulsi, also known as Talisa, is a frequently mentioned as one of the main pillars of herbal medicine in ancient Ayurvedic texts, some dating back to as far as 5000 BC. It is known as the incomparable one, the queen of herbs, the mother medicine of nature. In ancient Vedic texts, the Bhagavata Purana, the queen of the herbs, is noted as the plant embodiment of Lakshmi, wife of Vishnu, known as the goddess of wealth and generosity. In Hindu mythology, Tulsa is regarded as a living gateway between heaven and earth, believed to be a manifestation of the divine within. Along trade routes from Asia to Europe, Christians used Tulsi in rituals and called it holy basil. Across cultures, Tulsi was regarded as a symbol of divinity and purity. Found in many Ayurvedic formulas, Tulsi is regarded as a rasayana master plants that assist in longevity and rejuvenation. It has been used to treat intestinal gas, colds, flus, headaches, migraines, anxiety, weakness, memory enhancement, premature aging, tumors, and much more. With its ability to enhance cerebral circulation and memory, Tulsi greatly embodies the archetype of Mercury, the great communicator who governs our conscious mind perception to understand, along with primarily the nervous system and respiratory system. Tulsi is also ruled by Mercury's polarity, Jupiter. It's an adaptogenic plant that increases longevity, immunity, while having a strong, auspicious nature known to boost spiritual abilities. The Tulsi goddess sits proudly facing her beautiful peacock, symbolizing heaven on earth. She raises her arms with grace, aiming them like wands to catalyze magic and wealth. The fountain is centered between the goddess and the peacock, representing the wellspring created between earth. Between earth, excuse me. The fountain is centered between the goddess and the peacock, representing the wellness spring created between earth, the manifest world, and heaven, the spirit world. Peacock embodies the medicine of the auspiciousness, magic, and beauty, reminding us that we are the living gateway to the greatest mysteries. Tulsi is here today to teach that the key to Jupiter's doorway, abundance and wisdom, is to live and communicate from a place of wonder, innocence, and impeccability, rather than doubt and confusion. Don't be fooled by material possessions or the vanity often worshipped in the material world. Tune into deeper realities around you. Be spontaneous and celebrate your temple just as you are. Sag, you don't mind if I call you Sag. The idea here, first off, I love this card. I like this. This is one of my favorite cards, and I'll say that this idea of, I think, one thing that hit me hard is some of you may be really experiencing some kind of headaches or migraines or something, and that idea of healing and wellness, you should really look into the herbal world if you haven't already, in terms of what it can do for you. In talking to a herbalist in any way. This is not medical advice. I am not a doctor or an MD. But this idea of particularly like Tulsi being really associated with wealth and Jupiter is interesting because Sagittarius, as many of you may know, Sagittarius is really directly associated or rules over the concept of wealth, and Jupiter as well. The idea of good luck, good fortune, right? And what a lot of you really need to come into contact with today is, it seems like, the idea of wealth, what that means to you. And really the strongest indicator I've gotten so far is that wealth is something that our material world designates directly to the financial, the finances of a person, right? And but what a lot of us don't understand is that wealth, in terms of Sagittarius, and if we think in terms of what Sagittarius rules over, it can also be associated with, of course, luck, exuberance, but also knowledge, right? Higher knowledge, the connection to foreign lands, right? Things that aren't immediately available. You should understand that Tulsi, this idea of having true wealth, true understanding, true knowledge, it's not something that's going to come directly resulting from really just material gain, right? If you look at today, for instance, we have, we'll say, like, a lot of billionaires are in existence today, and they're coming out in the open in a lot of different cases, and they are talking with an air of brilliance, right? So let's get this understanding real quick. Sagittarius, they have the Sagittarius wealth, and they think that necessarily that's coupled with the idea of the knowledge, right? And they are firmly disillusioned in a lot of different cases, right? Because when it comes down to wealth, a lot of people want to make them feel like they are knowledgeable, like they are geniuses in a lot of cases, and they are not. Very, like, as clear as day. If you look at, for instance, if you go on X and you know, or Twitter, and you hear, like, or you are immediately, like, assaulted by, like, Elon Musk tweets. But basically the idea is that if you know anything about what he's talking about, you realize that this guy is not a genius. He's not by any stretch of the imaginations a genius that should have considerable amounts of wealth. If we just consider him, you know, gaining wealth from his knowledge base and what he has, you know, what he's able to do or whatever, there's no reason for it. There is no association with it. When we talk about Tulsi, this idea of what's happening here, you're not to say that there's no there shouldn't be a correlation. I think there definitely should be a correlation with you know, the amount of knowledge base that someone has, and, you know, the idea of financial gain in a lot of cases, right? And what they're, you know, being able to have financial gains associated with that. Um, but the real understanding, the real value in any financial gain is having it linked truly, directly and concretely to your knowledge and your understanding of the world. You need to have that. That's real wealth. That's concrete wealth. This is a world. This is a world that is really incentivizing you to sell yourself for very cheap, and I don't want you guys to do that. And this idea of the message here, you need to understand something, that we're coming into an age where you will receive for the real wealth that you have accumulated. When I say wealth, I mean we're talking about the Sagittarius phenomena, right? So continue to work and on gaining real wealth, and the material world will at some point have to catch up to you.